And so they unhooked me and everything. I went to the bathroom. Nothing would come out. Hey guys, so, the title, just like the title suggests, I will be talking about my labor experience and what was I thinking and how that happened from start to finish. I did do a pregnancy experience journey video, so I thought I'd continue with my labor experience. If you haven't seen my pregnancy journey, I will go ahead and leave a link down below for you to check that out either before this video or after this video, either one you want. Okay, if you're new here, my name is Cynthia. I make parenthood, baby informational videos. So if you like that kind of content, go ahead and subscribe for more videos. I put out videos every Wednesday. Also, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And yeah, my daughter was born June of 2018. So all this is, happening in the summer. I wasn't pregnant for the full summer, thank God. I heard it's bad, super hot and stuff. But yeah, let's get started. Around 39 weeks, it's torture. Mentally, sometimes physically. It just feels like it's going on forever and you just want to be done. Like the last week, 39 weeks to 40 weeks and 40 weeks up is sheer mental torture because it feels like an eternity that you've been pregnant. So that's how I was feeling. So my due date was June 11th, and I was going crazy, and I was like, I want this girl out. I need her out, like, now. Like, when is it gonna happen? So June 14th, I was 40 weeks and 3 days. 6 a.m. in the morning, I felt really bad pain. I woke up hurting so bad, and it wasn't like I thought. I honestly thought that I would feel really intense cramps, and that wasn't the case. I had tightening in my stomach, my lower back was hurting, my hips were aching, and there was pressure down there. In the beginning, it wasn't too much pressure, but it was still pressure. And it was just totally different than what I thought it would be, to the point where I actually didn't know if it was contractions or what it was. I thought maybe, oh, it could be Braxton Hicks, maybe I'm not. So for hours, I was like, is this it? Is this not? Finally, in the afternoon, I want to say around maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I went ahead and went on Facebook, on my mom group, and I asked. I was like, okay, this is what I'm feeling, tightness, back pain, da-da-da, and a lot of them said that sounds like labor, or sounds like contractions. Start counting them. So I was like, oh, okay. I downloaded a counting app, and I started counting my contractions. And they were like maybe 5-6 minutes apart, sometimes 7, so they weren't really consistent in time. They did start getting consistent later. I written everything down so I wouldn't forget. Let's see. Okay, so I remember my doctor, while all this is happening, like a week before, I had just moved an hour away. I moved in with my grandma, and so I remember my doctor telling me, when your contractions are about 4 to 5 minutes apart, go ahead, call the hospital and go in. So I was in a new town, and I was like, oh, okay, that's my mindset. Oh, okay, they're already 4 to 5 minutes apart. And this was like maybe 5-6 o'clock at night. And I call the hospital, and the lady kind of gives me attitude, what are you doing here in this town? Basically questioning me why I'm here and why I want to go to her hospital. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to drive an hour away to give birth, because, I've seen horror stories. What if I have birth on the freeway, But, so she was giving me attitude, and I was like, oh. But she was saying, oh, when the contractions are 3 to 4 minutes apart, and you can't walk nor you can talk, come in. And then she's like, well, it kind of sounds like you can talk, so you're not in that much pain. I'm like, I'm in agonizing pain. It hurt so bad. It just was horrible. So I was like, alright. So I was like, alright. So I hung up and just tried waiting it out. So it was around 9 p.m. when I finally decided to just go into the hospital. I was still maybe like 45 I was still 4 to 5 minutes apart, the contractions. And according to the lady, I was still able to talk and walk. So, but I was like, I can't handle this pain. It's way too much. You know, I don't care if they send me home. I just want to go, and I just need to go. So I went. They checked everything, and I was only 1 centimeter. I was only 1 centimeter. Only 1 centimeter dilated. I was like, are you serious? This feels like I'm like 5 centimeters. It was like horrible pain. And so they sent me home. And I went home. I could not sleep because I was in so much pain. And then laying down just did not help. So we had a little couch in my bedroom. So I was just sitting on the couch, counting my contractions. I would doze off here and there, getting like 2 to 3 minutes of sleep at a time, which was nothing. But so I was sleeping. My boyfriend wakes up at like 2:30, gets ready, goes to work. I'm texting him on his breaks and lunches because he doesn't text during work. But it was just so much pain. So we're into the next day, June 15th, right? That's the next day, yeah. So basically, during June 15th, I seen that I lost my mucus plug. When I went to the bathroom, I noticed it. And then, just the same, they started getting a little bit closer, so like 3 to 4 minutes, but they would fluctuate between 4 and 5 and 3 and 4. So I was like, still in agonizing pain. Everyone tried making me walk, and I tried my best, but it just hurt. Like, I didn't want to move. I didn't want to do nothing. So by 11 p.m. At night, so this is pretty much the whole day is gone. 11 p.m. at night, I woke up my boyfriend, and I was like, I just can't do this. I can't handle this pain. I don't care if they send me back home. I need to go now. And I also just wanted to know how far along I was, because like, I need to know what's happening and how long it's gonna take and this and that. So like, I need to know stuff like that. I don't know, puts my mind at ease, I guess. But I figured with this amount of pain, I'm in like 5 centimeters, right? 11 p.m. I get, they check me and everything. 2 centimeters dilated. I almost cried because I was like, that's ridiculous. This feels way worse, way more. Like, how dare you? I'm only 2 centimeters. And I was seriously gonna go crazy. But I remembered that the whole day of June 15th, the whole day, I felt extra wet. And I felt wet my whole pregnancy. It was like, I guess you make extra hormones or something, and yeah, you're just extra wet. But I was way more wet, and I've heard that a lot of the times when your water breaks, it's not just a, you know, regular gush. It sometimes just trickles down. So I was like, okay, well, maybe, just maybe, my water did break. So I told him, I was like, hey, you know, I had extra liquid, you know, can you check? So they did a swab, and yep, I had punctured my bag. Basically, my bag had punctured. And at that point, they're like, okay, we're gonna admit you. I think I've read somewhere where if your water breaks or bag punctures or anything like that, you have to give birth within 24 hours, or it might cause an infection or it might harm the baby because you're losing fluids and all this stuff. So I'm like, thank you so much. I was admitted, and yeah, I was admitted, and that was like the best thing. So this is like 1 o'clock in the morning that I've been admitted. Okay. Sorry for all the moving, but I got done cooking, so thought I'd sit down and actually ate. But so I got admitted. So now we're into June 16th, 1 in the morning. I got admitted, and it was just a whole waiting game. They attached the little thing to my stomach to measure and track my contractions, and which was actually pretty cool. I liked watching, you know, when I had my contractions, knowing when it was gonna end, and like I just like knowing that I think maybe it makes me a little controlling, because I feel like I need to be in control, meaning I need to see it, I need to know when it's gonna end, I need to know how long it's gonna last, I need to know how bad it's gonna be, and with that, it really helped. With some people, it might not help looking at it, but it helped me looking at the contractions thing. The whole time, she was just, her heartbeat was just steady. It was like, whatever. I'm over here in pain, and she's like, la-di-da-di-da, just in the womb, just whatever. And, you know, I was actually surprised. I thought her heart rate would go up every time I had a contraction, but it didn't. And it was also nice to know that her heartbeat, that she was doing good when I was having my contractions. It kind of helped, because it's like, okay, I'm in pain, but she's not, and that's good. Is it good? She's eating toast right now. And we have oatmeal, and then a little cutie that she eats too. Just in case you're wondering what she's eating. So during this time, my boyfriend's in there, and then I think in the morning my grandma comes in there. But I remember having to pee really bad, and so they unhooked me and everything. I went to the bathroom. Nothing would come out, and I went back in the bed and then went back to go try and pee, and nothing. So the lady's like, okay, well, that happens sometimes, which I didn't know that was actually a surprise thing of, you know, I was surprised. But she was saying sometimes your body only focuses on the contractions and having, you know, going through childbirth, and that's it. So it turns off the other functions, like having to pee or even having to poop. So like you lose those functions sometimes while you're in labor, and it was weird. So what she did was like, oh, I can, you know, hook you up to a catheter just to empty your bladder, and, you know. So I was like, all right. I wasn't for sure, because I've never had a catheter, and I would imagine it would hurt. But honestly, I had to pee really bad, so I was like, go ahead. So she did it. The catheter actually did not hurt. I did not feel anything. What they do is they get a tube, and they just stick it in your pee-pee hole, and then it goes to your bladder, and it sucks out the pee. So, and it was funny, because she's like, oh wow, you really did have a full bladder. Like, we filled that bag up quick. So I was like, all right. So going into, you know, labor in the hospital, I honestly didn't want an epidural, because of all the stories I've heard. not just from people on my parenting group, but also my sister and my cousin who have long time back pain. And so I was scared of that. I didn't want to have long-term back pain. I already have, aching back sometimes. So I really didn't want to. But I did not mind having the pain medication through the IV. Now, I did not know. See, this is what I thought was going to happen. I thought the pain meds, it was going to be like a bag hooked to my IV, and that it would be trickling down every so often to try and, kick off the edge. No, at least not at my hospital. It could be different everywhere else, but at my hospital, it's a shot, and they give you a shot into your your IV. And so I was like, okay, well, I got it. I got the shot. I don't know how far into labor, probably like in the afternoon, maybe a couple hours later. And, oh, you want more? Sorry. I'm over here talking and she wants more food. My bad. My bad, but that's sorry. So yeah, I get the shot, and it lasts about an hour. It helped me for about an hour of the pain, and then the pain came back. Now the doctor was saying, or the nurse, because I think I only met the doctor like 3 times. The nurses were there through my whole thing. So nurses are the real MVPs, I'm telling you. But anyways, so the nurse says, well, the way the shots work is the more you get them, the higher your tolerance gets. So the less it works. So she suggests to get it every hour in between, or every 2 hours. So I was like, alright. So I get the first shot, it helps for an hour. I get the second shot about an hour and a half later, and it only helps for 40 minutes. About 40 minutes. I was like, I don't know how long I'm going to be in labor. I don't know any of this. And if I have to be induced, I've heard that those contractions are even worse. So, I asked to talk to the lady who does the epidural. I don't know if she's an anesthesiologist or what she was, but I talked to her, and she basically said, the whole thing about lifetime of back pain, there's no scientific proof that is true. Although there is a lot of hearsay because a lot of women say they have it. So I was, outweighing the pros and cons, and I was like, you know what, go ahead. I need that epidural. I can't handle this pain. And I kind of felt heartbroken because I honestly thought I could handle the pain and that I would be able to have a natural, non-medicated birth or non-epidural birth. But I got over it real quick when I was not in pain. Honestly. The epidural, I was finally able to actually sleep and get a nap because I had not slept for like 2 days, and I did not count those 2 to 3 minute naps. I was exhausted. Yeah, I know. You made me exhausted. Okay, she made me exhausted. Okay, so one thing about the epidural, it did not hurt when I got it. I didn't have any problem with my epidural. Like, it numbs, obviously, the bottom half of me, but I was still able to wiggle my toes. I can kind of move my legs. I would feel, be able to feel me poking my leg and stuff like that. So it doesn't numb it completely, but it does help. Like, I didn't feel any of the contractions. Sometimes I did feel a little bit of the tightening of the stomach, but not as bad. The only thing that I had problem with during my contractions were the pressure. It literally felt like she was at the bottom of my vagina trying to crawl her way out. It felt like so much pressure. That's what I could not handle, was the pressure. I felt like she was going to fall out at any second. So the epidural definitely helped that. I hate when I say It's a word filler. It's not even a word. It's like a sound filler. I can't stop saying Anyways, better word. I had the epidural. It was awesome. Didn't feel any pain. One thing you need to know about the epidural, if you get one, you're gonna have to have a catheter. The catheter does not help. It's actually pretty awesome because you're just peeing and you don't get the sensation of having to pee or that you're even peeing. So that's what, like, I went hours and I was like, what? Wait, I don't have to pee anymore. Like, I realized, like, I didn't have to pee, like, the whole time I was there. So, yes, you have to get a catheter. Don't worry, it doesn't hurt. It's actually pretty awesome. And I honestly loved the epidural, and I would recommend it. The only thing I would recommend is do not move when they're putting it in there, because if you move, and if they do poke the wrong thing, they can poke a nerve. I think a lot of the women who do have lifetime of back pain either already had back pain or they hit a nerve, they moved, something happened that was wrong with it. A successful epidural should not have caused you external back pain. Now, I mean, I don't know. I went from hating an epidural to loving it. So, yeah. So, shortly after I got my epidural, the nurse comes in, checks me, and I'm only 3 centimeters. So they're like, you're not progressing fast enough. We're going to have to induce you. So they went ahead and gave me, I believe it was Pitocin. It might have been that. I don't know. I think it is. But they basically induced me, and the contractions happened faster and faster. I didn't really feel them, but I seen them on the computer or the monitor, and they came faster and faster and closer and higher. So I was definitely happy I got the epidural because they looked like they hurt. Oh, I know. I said, what? She keeps dropping her food. She keeps dropping her food. It's my spoon. My spoon. Epidural, awesome. I know I keep talking about the epidural. Okay, I'm gonna go past it. Okay, I get induced, and it happens all so fast. Now we're like into the late afternoon. So 5 p.m. they checked me again, and I was like, I went from like a 3 to like a 9 or a 10 or something like that, hella fast. So they're like, okay, you're ready to push. The nurse was like, okay, we're gonna try some practice pushes. I'm thinking to myself, practice pushes? Why? I don't get it. Honestly, I thought I would only be pushing for about 30 minutes. Ha! That was a lie. It was not 30 minutes. It was, so, like I said, I thought I was going to only be pushing for 30 to maybe an hour. Maybe. So I'm practice pushing. It's 5 p.m. And I'm pushing. She's showing me how to push. My boyfriend's holding one leg. My grandma's just in the background chilling. And the nurse is on the other side holding one leg. And the nurse down there just kept saying, oh, I can, I can feel her head. She's getting closer. But it didn't feel that way because she said she can feel the head for like 30 minutes. And it's like, well, if you could feel her head, why the hell is she isn't out? Like, what is going on? I was starting to actually get pissed off. And yeah, I was just starting to get pissed off. So an hour goes by. I'm still pushing. I'm looking at the clock too the whole time I'm doing this. I'm like, when is she going to come out? I was like pissed off. And the whole time, an hour goes by, and I think like an hour and a half goes by, and the nurse is like, hey, let's take a break, because every contraction I was like pushing, and I was pushing maybe 3 or 4 pushes, and it would take all of me because I was losing breath, and like I was just felt like I was gonna faint. But at that point, I was in beast mode, and I was like, get this girl out. And the nurse is like, you should take a break. And I'm looking at her like, bitch, please, a break? Are you serious? I'm already, like, mid-pushing. I am not going to take a break. I literally was like, no, I want her out now. I was so pissed off. I was like, I'm not going to take a break. I want her out. I need her out. So I kept pushing, because I was like, no. And at the point where I kept pushing, she was like, not even there. I'm thinking to myself, if I push and this baby just pops out, she's gonna like end up on the floor. Like, why aren't you right there? But then I soon realized, like, she ain't gonna come out. It's impossible. Well, 2 hours later, from when I started pushing, it's 7 o'clock, and at that point, the doctor just walks in. I haven't seen the doctor for like hours at all, and which I understand, doctors are busy, whatever. So she comes in, and then I do I think 2 more sets of pushes, so I'm like doing 8 more actual, pushes, and that's when she... I know. Where's your other toast? Are you serious? Okay. So, 7 o'clock, the doctor comes in, and she just kind of pulls the baby out, as I did like 2 sets of pushes. I know. And she pulled her out, and at that moment, I did feel her like come out. Oh, I didn't say this, but like, when I was ready to push, the doctors asked me if I had felt anything down there, and I told them no. So they turned off my epidural. I still was numb, but I was still able to feel a little bit of her coming out. But yeah, that's what happened. And what's surprising is the doctor actually got mad at the nurses, because she's like, I don't do that. If she doesn't feel it, you just lessen it. You don't turn it off. And I was like gonna defend my nurses, but I was like, no, I don't want to do it. But anyways, I couldn't anyways. There was so many things going on. But I just felt like, are you serious? Like, whatever. So, okay, fast forward. Okay, the doctor is grabbing, she's pulling the baby out. And at this moment, that's when everything is happening. The doctor cuts the umbilical cord because my grandmother nor my boyfriend wanted to, so the doctor had to. But, like, once that happened, the nurse put the baby on my chest. So the baby's on my chest. She's cleaning the baby at the same time that she's on my chest. My boyfriend's taking pictures. The nurse next to me is talking to me, saying something. And then the doctor down below was, telling me about my stitches and my tears. I didn't tear externally, but I did have a tear internally. Which, come on. Of course. You're going to tear. You're giving birth to a giant baby. So she stitches me up. And I'm just having all this commotion going on. And I was like, it's unreal. It feels like a dream. And then in my head, like, I have slight anxiety. So in my head, I'm thinking, should I be crying? Do I say something to the baby? What do I say to the baby? What do I say in general? Like, I was not freaking out, but I was like, what do I do? There's just like this alien on me. What do I do? Like, I love my daughter and all, but honestly, when I first had her, I didn't cry, and I thought I was supposed to, and I felt like a bad mom for not crying. I guess happy tears. I guess women cry happy tears when they have the baby. That was her last toast that she just threw on the floor. We're gonna give her a cutie. But I didn't cry, and I didn't know what to say, if I had to say anything at all. So I just kind of said hi to her when she was like right there. Because I seen in like movies and like other vlogs and stuff, they're like, oh my god, I'm your mom. Oh my god, I love you. And I'm like, I didn't say any of that. And I just felt horrible, like a horrible mom. What kind of mom am I for like not having a, instant bond with my baby when she's on me? I mean, I love her now. I mean, I loved her even when she was born, but it just, I don't know. I didn't just show it, I guess. I don't know. But it's normal. Don't worry. If you don't have a bond with your baby right away, it's okay. Honestly, I didn't actually bond with my daughter until 3 weeks after she was born. I feel like I sound like a bad mom, but it's the truth. Anyways, so yeah, I gave birth. She was born June 16th, 7:08 p.m. 6 ounces. Yeah, 6 ounces. No, I lied. 6 pounds, 7 ounces. There you go. 6 pounds, 7 ounces. 18 inches. This little girl. 18 inches. And a funny thing is, at the time I was pushing, my boyfriend was holding my hand. At one point, because he didn't do it like before, he was holding my hand and like rubbing my back. And I looked at him and I felt so bad. I was like, babe, I love you, but please don't touch me. I felt so bad because he was like, okay. But he understands sometimes I don't like being coddled like that. And especially in situations like that, no, don't coddle me. I want to be in pain and I want the pain to go away. And it's not helping by doing that. So yeah, that's my labor experience. Oh my gosh. I totally forgot to tell you the funniest thing that happened to me during labor. Hopefully you guys stayed to the end to know this, but TMI, I totally pooped during labor while I was pushing. I pooped and the nurses did not care. So, if you're worried about pooping, it's going to happen, but don't worry. The nurses already it's whatever. And the only reason I knew I pooped was because as I was pushing, or after I was done, like, taking a couple second break, I seen her grab, like, a towel or whatever, and she was, like, wiping down there, and she, like, threw it in the garbage, and I was like, I totally pooped. Yeah. So yeah, sorry, like, that was kind of all over the place. But I try writing notes, and it honestly does not help that much. And I've been really busy, and I really wanted to get this video out. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe for more videos. I put a video out every Wednesday. And videos to look forward to. I'm doing more baby-led weaning videos, like how to properly cut food, how to give food to the baby. Also, what to do when baby's crying, how to figure out why they're crying, like a checklist to go through. Birthday, her birthday's coming up, so I want to give you an idea of how to plan it, what to write down, what to look for, and all that stuff, picking out a theme. Birthday, getting ready, even DIYs, I want to start making some decorations for it. So look forward to all those videos. Thank you so much for watching this video if you made it this far. Even if you didn't, thank you so much, even though you won't see this part, but thank you. Thank you for watching this video. And I look forward to seeing you guys in other videos. Bye! Stupid robocalls. Oh my god.